What's up, guys? Welcome to Gray Rabbit Finance. I'm your host, Tyler, and today is June 4th, 2023. I will be updating the Ichimoku technical analysis for all the major indices. Let's hop in. Okay, guys, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 on the monthly chart. And as you can see, last month's candle closed bullish, sort of a doji, and it closed bullish above the Kijun-sen. But now you can see we're heading into resistance here at the 0.618 Fibonacci level, which is this dark pink dash line here. And we have a death cross, an Ichimoku death cross here. We have the Chico span tracing up the candles, but soon to be coming below. And we have a double, I'm thinking that either this market, my first thought is that this market's going to get rejected at this 0.618 Fibonacci level, or close to it, and then we're going to see a reversal. However, markets can be a little bit more irrational than we think sometimes, so we could get more continuation up to this 0.786 Fibonacci level, and we could start forming a sort of a double top here. But I do still believe that we are going down and we're going to touch this lower trend line at some point in the future. And so let's take a look at the weekly chart for a little more detail. Okay, guys, so on the weekly chart here, you can see how close we are to this Fibonacci level, right? We broke out of the Kumo and we broke the resistance at this previous Kijun-sen level here. And we now have 3 out of the 3 Senryoko Kyoden signals, trend signals. So this market is bullish. However, we, this Kumo is still too small, and only Senko span A is pointing up right now. But we have Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen pointing up, Senko span A. We're going to need Senko span B pointing up to confirm this trend up. And I would also like to see a N wave outside of this cloud going up. Let's see what else we have. On the stochastics here, you can see that we're probably going to have a death cross soon. And you can see too that the previous resistance here at this 4,325 level, we're going to need the price to close above that to confirm this bull trend on the weekly chart. So until we get a close above 4,325 level, I'm still expecting a reversal here from the Ichimoku time cycles I have drawn in here. And this is a reversal in one of the 26 time period cycles. And I'm expecting a reversal to begin around July 10th, 2023. And let's see what else. If we get a close below this level here, in the light blue line, that's the 3,764 level, that's going to confirm our price target down here. And this is where I expect to get the carrot. So let's put that in there. And I'm expecting for the gray rabbit to get the carrot around January 2024. And this is going to be at the 3,282 level. Okay, guys, so the first tweet I want to talk about is from Michael Burry, and this tweet was on May 31st. Now, this is not from his official page, because Michael Burry, when he tweets, he always deletes them after, for the most part. But this is from Michael Burry's stock tracker, and it says, "The U.S. just hit $1 trillion in credit card debt. A credit crisis is coming." So guys, just something to think about. Once this debt racks up, people are gonna start needing to find resources somewhere, and that could start a capitulation process in the broad stock markets. And now here's a second tweet from him. "The 30-day and 90-day credit card delinquencies are ticking up. When people have to pay student loans back, watch out below." So guys, think about it. If I have a 401k or a retirement fund, that's going to be the very last safety net that I go to when I need extra resources, right? So no one wants to touch their retirement accounts. because they're, that's going to trigger tax events and whatnot. But as people rack up credit card debt, and they can no longer afford things, they're going to have to start selling their assets, right? So I think you're going to see a lot of retail sellers in the broad stock markets. So that's something just to keep an eye out. And this is kind of just a general overall view of the market, but I think that a lot of people see the market going up right now, and it's giving them sort of a false sense of hope. But if you take a look at the fine details, like Michael Burry's mentioning here with this credit crisis, I think that plays along with the idea that there's still further downside ahead. So let's keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's always interesting to see Michael Burry's tweets. Okay guys, now we're going to move on to the Nasdaq 100. So last month we saw that price closed on a very large bullish candle here above the Kijun Sen. But we do have the Chico span here almost below the candles. It's kind of just tracing back up like we called for in the previous videos. We have a death cross, an Ichimoku death cross, and we have the Kumo cloud flat right now. But we need to see if this, this candle has 26 days left to close. So we need to see if this candle actually closes above this 0.618 level, the Fibonacci retracement level, for us to confirm further bullish momentum. However, I do think, like the S&P 500, we are going to see a reversal here around July at some point. It seems that these time cycles are lining up with July, around the July 3rd for the Nasdaq. But let's take a look at the weekly chart just to get a little more detail. Okay, hold on guys, let me resize this for you. Okay, so now you can take a look at the weekly chart here, and you can see that we have some confluence here from the Ichimoku time cycles. The blue vertical lines are the 9-period time cycles, and the green vertical lines are the 26-period time cycles. And as you can see too, we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals. So we have the gold cross, we have the Chico span, and the price outside of the Kumo cloud above the candles. But this Kumo cloud is still too small and too weak to really confirm this trend. So we're going to have to wait and see, we're going to need at least another N wave outside of this cloud up in the bullish direction to confirm and make a larger cloud here. But we can see too that, price closed above the resistance from the previous Kijun Sen, and the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen are both pointing up now. So that's bullish. But we're going to need to wait for this cloud to get a little bit bigger to confirm an actual bull trend on the weekly. And this is playing into my case for a reversal soon, because, as you can see, these are where our time cycles are lining up. And typically, the 0.618 Fibonacci level is one of the most important Fibonacci levels when you look at wave analysis. And, it's usually a good point for reversal, typically. So we're going to keep our eye on that, but I'm expecting to get the carrot down here around this 9,609 level. And I'm expecting that around January 2024. So keep your eyes on that, guys. But until then, I'm going to be updating these charts, and yeah, that's our target for now. Okay guys, we're going to move into Bitcoin US dollar on the monthly. And so as you can see, we have an Ichimoku death cross. We have a bearish twist on the Kumo cloud forming. And we have the Chico span now below the candles. And we have price below the Kumo. So right now we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals for a bearish trend down. So last month we had a bearish candle close here. And we were resisted at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, which is right here in the light pink. And price was resisted at the bottom of this Kumo cloud here at the 33,026 level, like we called out in the previous video. So guys, I'm starting to see this reversal forming on Bitcoin, but let's go down to the weekly and take a closer look. Okay, so right now on the weekly chart, we have 2 out of the 3 Senoko-Koten signals for the bullish direction. So we have the gold cross and we have Chico span above the candles. But you can see that price is flying in the cloud right now. And so when price is in the cloud, like we mentioned many times before, is a very turbulent area to be in. And so price, this is not confirming a trend in either direction. This is more of a ranging market still. Now we do have this overhead resistance, like we mentioned, the 33,000 level. So we will need a close above that level and price to break the Kumo to confirm any further bullish action in the future. But as you can see too, we have a lot of bearish candles and price action moving down. We have the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen are flat, and we have a death cross that just formed on the stochastic. So I'm expecting price to continue reversing down, and I'm expecting our next target to be the $14,895 level, which is also on this major trend line here. And that's going to be around July 2023. So that's where I expect to get the carrot right there. So keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. But, just looking at the monthly chart, there is going to be further downside for Bitcoin. I'm going to keep updating these charts as we get more information. But until then, that's our target, 14,895, July 2023. Now, in fundamental news, I found a very interesting article to follow up from last time, and the headline reads, "Hostile Mining Bill on Hold Until 2025 as Texas Concludes Legislative Session." This is from CoinGeek. The legislative session for both the Texas Senate and House of Representatives has ended, but the state of 2 critical draft bills targeting the digital asset industry is still in limbo. The Texas legislature meets in regular sessions for 5 months every other year. These sessions last no more than 140 days, and this year they ended on May 29th. While property taxes, impeachments, and border security dominated proceedings in the last few weeks, 2 landmark bills targeting digital assets have been left in limbo. The 2 chambers are expected to reconvene in January 2025. The controversial Senate Bill 1751 called for the state grid operator ERCOT to nix the tax breaks it has been offering BTC block reward miners. ERCOT has been paying off the miners for giving up their power when the state electricity demand is high, effectively paying them for not mining. Riot platforms reportedly exploited the scheme to rake in $9.5 million in 2022. The bill also seeks to remove tax exemptions from the real estate on which mining facilities are located. The bill has received widespread support from lawmakers. The Texas Senate Committee on Business and Commerce voted unanimously in favor and sent it to the state Senate, where it was yet to be voted on. With the legislative session now closed for the year, Senate Bill 1751 will likely remain untouched until 2025. In the meantime, miners will continue enjoying the perks offered by ERCOT. Governor Greg Abbott could recall the legislatures for a special session, but it's likely he would focus only on major policy issues. House Bill 1666, which targets crypto exchanges, made it through both chambers before the session ended. The bill requires exchanges to hold reserves that meet all their customer obligations. It was sent to Governor Abbott over a week ago, and he has 20 days to sign it into law or veto it. If he takes no action in that time, it becomes a de facto law. U.S. governors are no strangers to throwing out digital asset bills. In March, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem vetoed a bill that would have exempted digital currencies from being termed money. California's Gavin Newsom also rejected the state's version of New York's BitLicense bill last year. So guys, just wanted to keep you updated on what was happening here in the US in terms of Bitcoin legislature. Okay guys, let's move on to Ethereum US dollar on the monthly chart. So we have an Ichimoku death cross, we have a bearish Kumo cloud twist, and we have the Chico span now entering below the candles. We had a doji candle last month here, and we have an inside bar forming on this. So typically doji bars are a reversal sign. So I'm expecting price to reverse down. And yeah, we had price also reaching up here on this wick to the overhead resistance, which we called out in last month's video at the $2,228 level, which was also the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So guys, I see that we've hit resistance and I'm expecting a reversal, but let's go to the monthly chart to get some more details. Sorry, let's go to the weekly chart, and here we are on the weekly chart for some more detail. Okay guys, so we have 2 out of the 3 Senyoko Koten signals. So we have the gold cross, we got the Chico span above the candles, but we have the prices now in the Kumo cloud, which is a very turbulent area, like we mentioned before. And we did have this overhead resistance here, which was not, price has not broken out of that yet. And we have a small bullish candle that's forming on the weekly chart here. And we have the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen both flat. And we have a death cross here forming on the stochastic. So, guys, I'm expecting a reversal to happen. This reversal is either already in progress or it's going to be happening between this time cycle here, which is this started on May 8th, and then this next time cycle here is on July 10th. So between now and July 10th, this reversal will start forming. And I'm expecting price to break down to this level here. Now, this is my long-term target here. This is for July 2024, and I'm expecting to get the carrot around there at the $135 level. So keep your eyes open for that. We will continue to update these charts, but right now I'm starting to see a reversal, and I will let you guys know if I see anything different. But we're going to need price to break out of this Kumo and form an N wave up before we reevaluate this idea. So until that happens, I'm expecting reversal down, and that's my plan right now. So yep, this chart is looking very similar to Bitcoin. Okay guys, moving on to the monthly chart of the US dollar index, DXY. The previous monthly candle closed above the Kijun-sen here, and we have a stochastic death cross here. So this is very interesting because it looks like the Kijun-sen is offering some sort of support here. This could be a double bottom, but I'm still expecting further downside, and I'm going to show you why once we look at more detail on the weekly chart. Now here's a look at the weekly chart, guys. Now, why am I expecting further downside? Well, we have an Ichimoku death cross, we have the Chico span below the candles, and we had the price now is resisting at the bottom of the Kumo cloud here, right? We have the bearish Kumo cloud getting fatter. So this is a pretty solid looking cloud so far. We have Senko span A pointing down, but we need Senko span B, so we're still waiting for that. But I'm expecting a bounce off of this and a resistance here at this level, which we're starting to form here on the weekly chart. And I'm still expecting this support level to break down. And I'm targeting this price here. So this is where we're going to get the carrot for the DXY. And this is the $94 level and 32 cents. And I'm expecting this around November 2023. And so, guys, we have these Ichimoku time cycles here, which you can see that we're within 1 or 2 deviations. So this is looking like a nice NKB, or day of change. And I'm expecting further downside because of that. So I'm going to continue monitoring this, but this is what I'm looking at right now. And even if we take a look at the daily chart here, let's take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart is a sort of a ranging market right now, and we need to break below the $100.33 level to confirm this idea. Or we need to break above this $105 level to cancel this idea. And if you look at the price action here, I see prices kind of sloping down like this. So I'm still expecting a break of this support level here at the $100.33. And we also have a stochastic death cross form. So guys, just, taking this as evidence and building our case, this is what we see currently in the market. And, we just have to use the price action to forecast where the future price is going. So that's what we're doing here with this. And once again, just to reiterate, this is our target $94.32 around November 2023. Okay guys, this is WTI crude oil or US oil on the monthly chart. And so you can see last month we had a bearish candle close here with a long wick. And it looks like price found support on the bottom of this trend line here. As you can see, this month's candle is starting to turn bullish, so I'm expecting this to be a sign of reversal here. We have only one out of the three bearish Sanyoku Kyoten signals here. So we have a death cross, Ichimoku death cross, and we have the Chico span, which I'm expecting to trace these candles up. But we need to look for a close above this $97 level to confirm the bullish momentum, or we need to look for a close below the $63 level to cancel this idea. But this looks like to be an inside bar forming on the monthly, and that's usually a sign of reversal. But let's take a look at the weekly chart for more detail. Okay guys, this is a look at the weekly chart for US oil, and you can see that recently we had this price gap up above the Kijun-sen. We have long wicks here that are touching the support line. And we need to look for let's look for the Sanyoku Kyoten signals. So it looks like we're, we need to look for the Sanyoku Kyoten signals to confirm a trend change on the weekly chart. And so it looks like we're about to get a gold cross here, an Ichimoku gold cross. But until we get that, we still see this market is just ranging here. The Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen are flat, and the Chico span is just tracing the candles up and down. So this is a ranging market. But I do see that this Ichimoku gold cross is forming, so I'm expecting that to be the first signal of the Sanyoku Kyoten signals. But my plan of action here is that we're going to have another touch on this trend line here, and we're going to start seeing price action moving up. So that's my target is $150 per barrel, and that's around September 2024. And now guys, I want you to, this is where we're going to look for the carrot here at $150 per barrel, and that's around September 24. But as I mentioned, we're going to keep our eyes open for the Sanyoku Kyoten signals, because that's what we need to see. And we need an N wave above this $97 level. Now guys, in fundamental news, OPEC Plus cuts talks come to the fore. Signs were mounting Saturday that OPEC Plus may move to cut oil output again as key producers began to gather in Vienna ahead of Sunday's closely watched ministerial meeting that will try to find the right message for what has been a tumultuous oil market. Continued price weakness, which has seen dated Brent crude prices average just over $75 in the month of May, has left ministers mulling a number of options to inject more confidence into the market, which analysts say is tricky as fundamentals appear to be disjoined from sentiment. Energy Intelligence understands a host of options are under discussion, ranging from a significant additional cut through to keeping current policy wholly intact. Sources close to the U.S. government told Energy Intelligence that Washington was not looking for any specific action by the group, even if that included further production cuts. This would mark a departure from the October 2022, when the OPEC Plus announcement of a 2 million barrel per day production cut drew howls from the U.S. officials, who interpreted it as a sign of support for Russia. Now, guys, I'm not gonna read the whole article for this, but that just that's saying to me that there could be possible further production cuts, which would be another bullish indicator for this trading idea that we have here. So we're going to keep our eye on that, and I'm going to post a link to all the articles below in the description, so keep your eyes open for that. But just to reiterate, our target price is $150 per barrel. It's where the carat is at, and that I expect to hit around September 2024. Okay guys, now moving on to gold US dollar on the monthly chart. So right now you can see that we have both the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen are flat, which acts like a magnet for the price, like we always say. We have the Chico span above the candles here. And last month's candle was a bearish candle with a very long wick up here. So you can see that the price was resisted here at this $2,070 level, which we called out last month. And let's take a look at the weekly chart for more detail. Okay, so here you can see that this was resisted with a nice long wick there. But we have 3 out of the 3 Sanyoko Kyoten signals for the bullish direction. So we have gold cross, Chico span above the candles, and we had price break out of the Kumo cloud here. But this Kumo cloud is still too small to confirm the bullish trend. And like we mentioned before, we're going to need a close above this $2,070 level with an N wave to confirm the bull trend. And let's take a look here. We have a stochastic death cross forming, which could be a sign of reversal. And you know, this is looking like a double top here, which is also a sign of reversal. But you know, this Kijun Sen is also acting as support right now as we look at this weekly candle forming here. So we're going to need to get some more information. But you know, until we see more price action, I'm still expecting that price is going to reverse here off of being resisted at this level, and we're going to see a little bit of continuation down to this this trend line here. And so we're going to get the carat around this level here. This is the $1,575 level, and that's going to be May 2024. And now guys, just for a little bit of fundamental news. Massive. Gold closer to centralized clearing and BRICS solution to SWIFT. This is huge. We will gleefully break it down the best we can in our weekly post Sunday. It lies directly on the path of things to do when building an alternative to SWIFT. The BRICS doing this merely proves it is doable, and the incumbent West has purposely been avoiding it for at least a decade in part, repressing gold prices by dissuading ownership. Successful implementation will force the IMF and BIS-led West, 1. to the negotiating table on international trade solutions to US dollar hegemony. Gold must be a part of whatever fiat money is used in cross-border trade. Silver will not be far behind. Further in the East, it will back their domestic currencies, enabling them to unleash retail gold demand on a global basis. In the meantime, NDB could become clearing center for common BRICS currency. Russian minister. We also have proposals about using digital financial assets supported by real assets. For example, gold stablecoins, the Russian minister said. Shanghai, May 31st. The new development bank, NDB, created by BRICS countries, may become a kind of clearing center if the idea of creating a common currency for BRICS members materializes. Finance Minister Anton Silonov told TASS on Wednesday. He said, "The idea of creating a common currency, although I would probably call it a payment unit inside BRICS countries, is floating around and is being discussed. We also have proposals about using digital financial assets supported by real assets, for example gold stablecoins," the minister said. Such proposals have not been discussed in detail, he noted. Nevertheless, we are ready to discuss them within the new development bank framework that may become a kind of clearing center. This is not the core business for the bank now, but this is also not the main obstacle to solve the task, Silonov said. National currencies are used in conditions of payment restrictions, the minister said, noting that about 70% of payments with China are made in national exchanges now. This is an absolutely proper decision. However, such relations cannot be built with all countries. Not all countries have a sound currency and a balanced trade turnover. At the same time, the omnibus clearing will significantly simplify the task of balancing export and import flows. Flexibility when using the new payment unit will be supported thereby, he added. So guys, this is just, there's a lot of talk on the table, with all the recent inflation that the BRICS nations are preparing their own reserve currency, which could be a stable coin backed by gold. So if that actually does happen, what are the implications for that? In my opinion, I feel that if we have a new reserve currency, when fiat currencies no longer function as a store of wealth, is what we're seeing with all this inflation, there's always historically been a return to sound money. And you need sound money to be layer one of your monetary system, because you need a level of trust, right? So how would that work? With the new technology of crypto, and you pair that with gold backing, I think that would be how we're going to see it happen in the future. So, but there's a lot of variables, there's a lot of question marks, but if that does happen, you will see a reevaluation of precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, and I think that you will see prices go much, much higher, because these prices have been suppressed by the central banks for so long. So that's just something to keep in mind. But this is an article kind of thinking long term, but in the short to medium term, we're expecting to get the carat here at the $1,575 level, because I do believe that price will be suppressed for a little bit longer than people will realize. So that's my plan, and I'm going to stick to it until I see anything different, and I will continue to update these charts for you guys. But yeah, take a look at that. Okay guys, let's move on to silver US dollar on the monthly chart. So as you can see on the monthly chart, just as a broad overview, look at this gigantic cup and handle pattern, right? Now typically these cup and handle patterns break up after a base is formed here. So that's what I'm expecting in the long term, but in the medium to short term, I am expecting further downside, and I'm going to tell you why. So we have an Ichimoku death cross here on the monthly. We have the Chico span tracing the candles, which I think will start tracing back down again. And we had a recent double top here. So boom, boom, here's a double top, resisted at this trend line here. So I'm expecting some further downside, but let's take a look at the weekly for a little more price action here. Okay guys, so on the weekly chart here, we have 3 out of the 3 bullish Senyoko Kyoten signals. We have the gold cross, Chico span above the candles, price has broken out of the Kumo. But we have a bullish Kumo twist, but this cloud is still too small to confirm the trend. We're going to need a N wave to close above this trend line here. And also a breakout of this $30 level of price would also help confirm the trend up. But right now the market just appears to be ranging up and down. The Chico span is tracing the candles. But we do have a bullish candle forming here on the weekly, and this is coinciding with our Ichimoku time cycles here on the 9 period. So I'm expecting a little bit of upside here until September, and then a bounce back off of that trend line and some further downside here. So this is my target. I'm expecting to get the carat down here at the $15.64 level, and I'm expecting that to happen around April 2024. So guys, historically too, if you look at precious metal charts and overall US equities and the broad stock market, precious metals markets tend to bottom during a recession. So I will have to show you guys some examples of that, but that's just based on what I've seen. But that's another indicator that there could be further downside before this blasts off from the cup and handle pattern. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. But yeah, just to reiterate, $15.64, that's my price target around April 2024. Okay guys, here's platinum US dollar on the monthly chart. And so we see that we had price close below the Kijun Sen, but now we have price being supported by the Tenkan Sen. We have an Ichimoku death cross, and we have the Chico span now below and tracing the candles, and we have the Kumo cloud flat. Now, this, for me, this is sort of just a ranging market right now, with no direction. But let's look at the weekly chart. Okay, so guys, here on the weekly chart, we can see that price recently broke out of this trend line here, but now has re-entered back below. We have 2 out of the 3 Sanyoku Kyoten signals, so we have the gold cross, we had the Kumo cloud break, but now you can see price is back down inside the cloud. So like I said, this is still just a ranging market here, and we're going to need price to close above this $1,177 level, because this Kumo cloud, this bullish Kumo cloud, is still too small. So to confirm this bull trend up, we're going to need a close and an N wave above this level here. It's the 1,177. But this right now, like, I'm seeing a double top here, and we're seeing a lower low from here. So I'm still expecting further downside before this bull market in platinum starts, along with the other precious metals. And I'm expecting price to reach this $906 level, so that's where I'm going to get the carat, and I'm expecting that around November 2023. So keep your eyes peeled on that, guys. That's my forecast for platinum. Guys, I trust you enjoyed the content today. What are your thoughts on the markets? What are your price predictions? I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to like and subscribe and share with your friends. And until next month, peace.